Hi, my name is Benjamin Oladokun.
My name is Oluchi Oladokun.
Tech entrepreneur, businessman.
I'm a marketing communications professional.
I'm here to discuss or just to share a bit of my love story.
I am married to my husband for 10 years. We dated for 8 years before that. And you're about to hear the greatest love story ever told.
Excited to share.
The first time I met my husband, we had a fellowship meeting of leaders like 100 level in university. And I had done pre-degree. For those of you who know what pre-degree is, it's like if you don't pass JAM, you can use pre-degree to enter the university. So I had my people, my G's from pre-degree. So we saw at the fellowship meeting and I was giving them hugs. These were guys that I had known for like a year plus. So obviously, not obviously, my husband did not do pre-degree. So I didn't know him. When I got to him, he extended for a hug and I'm like, I don't know you. So I gave him a handshake instead. So that was the first time I met him. And then after that, I met him in fellowship and other things. But my first impression of him over that period in 2006 was that, the fine boy, cute. His dresses, but the fine boy. Yes, he is a fine boy.
Unlike some people, I passed JAM, so we came in. So I think, as a matter of fact, I passed him. I don't know, I didn't flying colors, but somehow I passed. It was enough for me to come on campus. So I would say that maybe because of that beef, the first time she was just hugging everybody, all the people that, that they did not pass together. I'm sure they know themselves. So somehow she didn't, I'm sure it wasn't like I particularly, like she can, attest to. Then I was a fine boy. Now, fine man. If I wanted it, I've gotten it. But she didn't, hug me. She gave me a handshake. Other than that, also, I would say maybe our white teeth. Our teeth were just unusually white. So that's the first impression, the first time we saw.
After that, the initial fellowship meeting, the very next time I remember seeing him was in the girls' hostel. It's for 100 level students in OAU. I was watching plays and he was going to visit some other girl. But that's by the way. Either way, I cornered him and we got talking. Some weeks down the line, my results came out. I didn't do so well. Yes. And then somehow we became, reading partners. And so the friendship, started that way. I think the point where, I guess for me, I noticed that it was starting to become more was he was occupying my waking thoughts. Yes. So, I would look forward to rather the reading time when we would be seated together and reading in, what we call ODLT at the universities. It wasn't like a specific day, I remember, but it just gradually progressed into more than friendship feelings over the span of 2 years. Yes.
I think the next time we saw was in Mozambique, on campus back then. And I was going to see a lady, It's funny sometimes how you think you know what you want, but, back then she was not, voluptuous, as she is now. But, I remember going to see a lady. I think, that lady was, voluptuous, so I was going to see her, and, like I said, I come on campus to scatter things, I was a good boy in secondary school, but my plan was different this time. Unfortunately, God blocked me. Fortunately. Yeah, so she stopped me. And then she was like, where am I going to? Just accusing me. The lady was already feeling the boy, so we started talking. She mentioned something intriguing, that she was born in Greece. I think we spent a lot of time trying to debate that, check our birth certificates. So yeah, but it was funny because that was the first time we spoke properly. And I think we ended up speaking for into the night. So it's just a lot of conversation. It was easy conversations. And that's probably still what it is. At the core of our marriage, at the core of our relationship is the bond, the friendship, the talks, the ease, to get stuff done with her. So yeah, I think it was, that night was it was literally just the definition of what it has been and what our friendship is all about. So just talks. We delved into, different talks, from grace to dentition to family to different things like that. And I always looked forward to those conversations every day.
So this was around late March. I had then we're already like really, really close friends. In fact, people thought we were dating already. I just heard a sermon about defining the relationship and not having people just hover over you like helicopters or canopies. Just know what you're doing with each person. The person's a friend, the person is a friend. So I called him that day, or we had 31st of March 2008, and I just poured my heart out and said, you know what? I mean, we've been really close for 2 years. And I think it's time for us to define it. And so if we're not going to be like officially dating with the intention of marriage, because as, fellowship children, that was always the goal. You only enter a relationship with the intention of marriage. If we're not going to do that, then we would have to like step down. And he looked at me. I'm sure I saw a tear drop. Yeah, I think both eyes. Now he may deny it, but I saw it. Yeah, he cried. Because the thought of losing me just, broke his heart to pieces. But I mean, the conversation, I just, he didn't say much. He just like, okay, I've heard. And then about 4 days later, and during that 4 days, we didn't really speak much because, the air was heavy with decision making, to be done. And I was reading for, I think, a chemistry test with my candlelight. And he found me where I was reading. And there was just a bit of tension in the air, like, okay, hi, what are you? Oh, hi, how you doing? Like, they're just forming for each other. And he was like, I mean, obviously I can't remember the exact, but I remember the question, yes. He was like, will you do me the honor of being my queen and my girlfriend or baby girl? One of the two. I think I prefer baby girl, yeah. But said queen, that's for sure. And I guess for me, I already knew that this was what I wanted. He just needed to step up, yes, as it were. So I said yes, and we became officially united.
So I remember the day that she had come to sort of say we should define, this, right? And okay, on the lighter note, I was going to say that, because she mentioned that I was crying, I was going to say that I was weeping for her, like that you're going to lose a fine boy, but I mean, so, but on a serious note, I feel like, so it was just more of getting used to, you gotten used to someone, and it was maybe your first realization of this may not continue. The 4 days were, sort of like a time of reflection. I mean, how relationships are like, so you enjoy the friendship, but then you're like, oh no, so definitions sort of brings a lot of responsibilities. Oh, now, those kind of like, you didn't call me because, you're my girlfriend, this kind of stuff. So, and for me as well, it was the time of like trying to just decide where you sort of feel like, okay, no, I still wanted to, chill. I still wanted to like chill, not in the sense of just, talk with a lot more people. The conviction was beyond the physical. It was more like God just warning you that, for your destiny, right? You need this person. I thank God for like, I'll say on time, back all the way back then, even though yes, we're still not super, overly close to the Holy Spirit, but like, he had come into our lives and he was already pointing us in what way to go. So I think there was a lot of conviction internally of knowing that this person is part of a journey. You need this person, right? So on top of the fact that I know that, I mean, I clearly needed, the person, I also wanted the person, So I think, that was the conviction that made me take the bold step and ask her to be my queen. And it was funny. I remember I asked, when I asked, and then she came with a funny, response, and she was like, why? In my mind, I'm like, Auntie, please, can you stop asking this, funny questions? Like, we literally discussed this. You said I should define this. I came here to define it. You're asking me why. What do you mean by that? But I think I can't remember the answer I gave. Again, I can be a shy type, so I didn't want all that questions, but pretty much. I think that's the story.